Well, welcome everybody to the Eden Army podcast. It is Thursday night. I'm your host tonight, Pete Robertucci. And man, it seems like it's been forever. We got a whole bunch of people over there in Kick Chat. That's interesting that you got a notice in there from Restream. I've never seen that before, but that's pretty cool. So look, we got a lot to talk about. But first, I want to thank Terry, Dan, Matthew, Teresa, Jeff, Christy, and Meta for their resubscriptions for this year. It keeps the lights on. Speaking of keeps the lights on, I'm basically running on generator right now. We had a big storm pass through here. We have no power in the house, so plan B, right? You always have to have a plan B. So I stretched a whole bunch of extension cords from the house to the RV and cranked up that generator. So we are, look, nothing can keep us down. Nothing can stop us from being back with you guys. But we do have a lot to talk about tonight. We had an awesome time at Mountain Readiness. We saw a bunch of y'all there, and man, we had a good time rolling out some of the new Eden Army swag. Right, the new cups, the new hats, the new patches, stuff like that. And I know you guys really dug a lot of that stuff, so we appreciate that. I also should say that, look, I know I've been ignoring some of y'all's Facebook Messenger messages and stuff like that, and even some texts. Been busy, right? I would get up here. I want to get as much work done on this Birchwood Burning book too as I possibly can. So I apologize for that, but suck it up, Buttercup, because it's going to be like that until I get this book done. Because I got people chomping uh, at my ear, ready for that. Agnes Rollins is in the house. Russ, pop that. Agnes Rollins in the house finally, and we should mention that happy birthday, Agnes. It's I hope you have a happy 35th birthday. Good to see you. But we do have a lot of stuff to talk about other than Agnes's birthday, right? We're going to go over some current events. Trump's visit to the Middle East. We're going to talk about that Milwaukee judge, that psychopath, Shrek-looking judge from Milwaukee that decided she was going to get an illegal alien out the back door of her courthouse. Well, she's been indicted, and we're going to talk about that. If we have time, the IDF is slamming the hell out of Gaza again. They may have killed the de facto new leader of Hamas. We'll talk about that. And we're also going to talk about something that's important, guys, is the Chinese kill switches that they just found on our solar inverters here in the United States. But that's all very important. But first, the first thing I want to do is I want to see how many of these platforms I can get kicked off of real fast. So instead of going through our normal routine, I'm going to pop an Eden Extra first, and we'll see on the flip side of
this. I'm declaring war on fat gay kids. Not the kids themselves, but on whatever's making them so fat, gay, and pathetic. I'm talking seed oils, SSRIs, MSNBC, and perverts masquerading as teachers and guidance counselors. Sorry, but as an educator, you can't show off your extensive collection of marital aids anymore, okay? America isn't a dance school, a video game competition, or an OnlyFans academy. It's a country. And with the help of President Trump, we'll be focusing on eliminating the things in our society that are turning our kids into effeminate weirdos and skanks.
Now, look, I know that was only satire, but wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if that was true? Wouldn't it be great if RFK Jr. came out and said all that stuff, all the stuff that we're kind of really thinking, right? But without any further ado, the guy in the background is going to come up front. Let's get Mr. Russ Sawyer in the house. Welcome, Russ.
Welcome, Pete. Man, it's been a bit, hasn't
it? It has been a bit. I would give you a clapping intro, but I forgot which buttons do what. So I didn't want to hit anything that would.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We forget which buttons we have to push, right?
It seems like it's been forever, right? We've only been gone, what, 3 weeks? What?
I think only 3, but it seems like forever. We did just see each other at Mountain Readiness, and we'll be seeing each other again the end of next Friday.
Yeah, Russ has a campground up the road, campsite up the road. He's gonna be staying here for the summer. Maybe he's gonna get some writing done. Maybe he's gonna
Yes, I
work
am.
on his venture that we're talking about. Larry Dial, thank you for that resubscription, brother. I appreciate you. 13 months. And I should mention that Terry's been on board with this silly little podcast for 16 months. I think she's got the record so far.
I believe she does.
And I didn't even realize, Russ. I didn't realize we were doing this for 16 months.
It seems like yesterday. And we take a 3-week break after having issues with Kick Chat, and now we come back and YouTube chat is showing up in Kick Chat. They
Yeah,
got
we
it.
got
Got it
YouTube
going.
chat blowing up. We got Kick Chat blowing up. So pretty cool.
That's pretty
Jay's over there on YouTube. It looks like. Good to see you, Jay. Hopefully you don't miss me too much. And tell Doc I love him. What do you guys think of this shirt Melissa got me? Zoom
I'm
in and out
digging
a little
it,
bit.
man. I'm digging it.
They love that stuff up here in liberal country when I do stuff. The other night we were at Russ. The other night we were at Red Rock for the drawing that we have to go to,
Imagine
and
that.
I
Wait.
wore my ATF is gay shirt. And first of all, they didn't understand what that was. I had to explain it to a few people, but once they understood, they liked it.
That's awesome.
And Patrick says Kick Chat is showing up on YouTube also. Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Hubby says in the house over on YouTube.
Oh.
And he made it home with only minor issues.
I see that. Javi says you should keep that look. It makes you look younger. I like it. You shouldn't go any further than that. If you do it too much, it shows some of this stuff. Don't leave it just like that.
No,
I like it.
You got to come back. I just got to be a little thicker.
My boyfriend Kelly is in the house over there on Kick. I appreciate you, Mr. Kelly. I'm sure he misses me.
Andrew Seven says he likes the shirt, but he needs more cowbell.
I'll put that on the soundboard, the cowbell.
Oh, you'll have to, because I was just looked on my soundboard, and the closest I have is this. So not quite going to work.
So, guys, we got a loose agenda for tonight. We will talk about some current events, but we're just getting back into the groove. I really want to just chat with you guys. Mostly, I want to keep an eye on chat over here, Russ. But Kelly says you got to go with the beard. Keep the beard. Get the beard going.
I'm with you, Kelly. I'm with you. And so is Teresa, and she has final say anyway. Guys that are married, y'all know.
Yep. Jeff does mention something I did not put on my list of topics for tonight, and that's that the Republic did not pass the suppressor bill out of Ways and Means. Now, Jeff, is it true that they didn't pass the suppressor bill, but they passed that the tax stamp that cost too much? They were dropping it down to $50. Is that correct? That's what I read. I don't know if that actually happened or not.
Last I saw on that, they were saying that it was going to drop down to 0, but still be NFA. But I hadn't seen anything. I've been a bit busy the last 2 days.
No, I get it. But yeah, and that's the big stick, right? Okay, yeah, it's still NFA, so that still violates our Second Amendment right. All right,
Exactly.
It shall not be infringed upon. I don't understand any other way I could tell people that, but registering something is a violation of our Second Amendment, in my opinion. Meta says, Kelly misses me so much. I'm sorry. He's
inconsolable.
Wow, he's inconsolable.
Yeah,
they dropped the price down.
$0.
Yeah, which is great because I just got that 22 suppressor and they didn't mind taking that $200. I wonder if I'll get a refund.
Doubtful. Highly doubtful.
Of course not. Yeah, you've been busy. I've been busy. I was lucky to even be able to throw this podcast together today because the words are really flowing on Birchwood 2 today, Russ. So I wanted to stay with that as much as possible. So even your messages and stuff, I've been ignoring. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I've been ignoring everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm up here to get some work done, except for Tuesday.
Absolutely, and I understand that completely. And Julie over on Facebook, we're getting Facebook over there.
Wow.
Over on Kick Chat, Julie over on Facebook says all the years of Air Force Regulation 3510. Enjoy going back to the beard. 3510 is dress and appearance.
Yeah.
for the non-Air Force folks out there. But
Matthew's in Kick Chat also, and Matthew. I got some really. I told you in an email that I sent you before I left Mountain Readiness that I got a lot of great reviews, and a lot of people talked about how they really like your narration in Birchwood. So, not that I was surprised with that, but I'm proud of you, and I look forward to getting this one done so we can knock out some more books. But we'll see. If I can continue to ignore everybody, I might knock it out. But let's talk about some news, Russ. Let's talk about Trump going over. Let's back up. Let's talk about how the liberals are losing their mind and actually happy that the stock market was crashing when the tariffs, when Trump announced he's gonna impose these or retaliatory or tariffs on people, and then now all of a sudden, look what happened. Look what happened to the stock market. The stock market right now is slightly better than what it was when he took office, right? Inflation is down. The price of eggs and food is going down, and gas prices going down. So I don't. I've said this many times, Russ, that liberals would rather burn this country than watch Trump succeed, watch the orange man succeed.
And that's what it boils down to. And it just blows my mind that someone can hate somebody so much as to destroy the country that they live in. And if they hate it that bad, get the hell out.
Yeah. Pull a Rosie O'Donnell and get your lard ass out of here. I mean, that's what else can we say? She's the only. I give her some respect. She's the only one that actually did what she was going to do, or said what she actually did what she said she was going to do. Patrick also said something that was interesting that I don't have on my. I could always rely on Patrick to bring up good topics. The liberals are losing their mind because white South Africans are being allowed into the country. But you know what? If these liberals would do the history on these white South Africans, on what's happening to them over there for the last 10, 20 years, they would understand to let them in. But they want to make it a race game, right? They want to make it all, they want to pit us against each other. But you know what was interesting to me, Russ, when I saw all these white South Africans come get off the plane and go through the tarmac, you know what interesting to me? They were all waving American flags.
Not only that, they're doing it legally.
100%. Those are hardworking people, people that will be, and I'm not saying that people that come from South America and Mexico are not working. The people that come here the right way, those are the hardworking people. But when you have Venezuela releasing all their prisoners out of their prisons and putting them onto our soil, that's why MS-13 right now is considered a terrorist organization, because there's Tren de Agua. Why they're considered a terrorist organization? Why? Because they're state sponsored. Okay.
Exactly.
So something to consider. Just as China has put we're going to talk about that. First order of business with Trump and China agree to a 90-day halt on retaliatory tariffs, and actually China will put our products at 10%. Which is good. So we can do reciprocal action with them, right? Now they've also promised to open up their market to United States parts and products. They've bulked on that in the past. They said they were going to do that in the past, Russ, but they haven't done it. They've always bulked on it and they always reneged on it. So that'll be the next thing. Will they allow our products into their country? If they do, watch what happens to the stock market.
Oh, yeah. Well, and there were 3 other things that China agreed to, and I don't have them off the top of my head. I know I sent it to you earlier this week. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but they were 3 things that the mainstream media was not reporting that was involved in all these tariffs. And it was like, I believe you just mentioned one of them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was that. They're too hung up on the white South Africans and Qatar giving Trump a new jet, which is like, that's unheard of, but it's actually, there's a precedence for that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but there is a precedence for that. The only difference is Qatar is giving their jet to the American people. They're not giving a helicopter to Barack Obama where he can fly on his own personal accord. So F you liberals to this day, still F you liberals. That's where I stand on that. I wonder if I got kicked off anything yet. Hadn't
No,
said
not
it.
yet. It's everything's showing.
Good. Well, I'm working on it. As long as X and Kick keep me on, I could care less.
Yeah, I mean, we're still getting chat kickoff from YouTube and Facebook, so things are going.
Good. Perfect. One thing that did happen in Mountain Readiness that I'm super happy. I was walking Remy, my
Okay.
German Shepherd, through the
Yep.
field, and there was some stuff going on. And me and her were having a dad dog moment. And this guy walks up to me, or drives up on his motorcycle to me, and goes, "That's a pretty dog." He goes, "You like German Shepherds?" I go, "Well, yeah." He goes, "You know what? I have 3 of them right now, puppies. You know anybody that wants them?" And I was like, "Let me see these puppies." Because you don't know. There might be mongrels. They might have 3 eyes, 5 legs. I don't know what the hell they look like.
We are talking about the North Carolina Appalachia stand. So.
True. So the guy actually loaded them up in his sidecar, all 3 of them. And during Mountain Readiness, we were able to get 2 of them adopted, one on the spot. And Nick Meacher drove home and back to North Carolina to pick up the mail. So I was proud of that. I'm happy for that. I'm happy for those dogs. And I think they're all going to be good dogs. So hopefully, look, and it's all right now. The people that did get those dogs, you have a blank slate, right? Now you make them what you want to make them. So have at it.
Absolutely. And, you know, following those, you know, the other one being Jeff Johnson, they have been posting a lot of stuff on Facebook. And from my knowledge of training dogs, which I am lax with my 2, but especially service type dogs, they're doing it right. And it's just awesome. Raven and Boomer, welcome to the Eden Farming family. Can't wait to see how much they've grown come fall out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and I can't wait to see those puppies. They're really good dogs. Hopefully, their bone structure is good to go. I think it.
And they're smart. If you pay attention to their posts, they're just picking stuff up already. Both of them had the breakthrough, and now I'm sure they may slip a little bit, but asked to go out. You know, that's a big one if you have a dog in the house, you know, asking to go out.
Yeah,
And both of them did it the other day on the same day, no less.
yeah, that's good stuff. All right, let's get into some news. Trump, Russ, as you know, Trump went and visited the Middle East. He visited Egypt, Qatar, and the UAE, and that's where we were talking about that whole Qatar giving Trump Air Force One, right? Where they're freaking out about it.
Well, if Boeing got off their butt and did their job, we wouldn't have to be gifted.
No, we wouldn't have to
Personal.
be. And I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat will know this. Is that plane over in Qatar, or is it currently in Boeing headquarters?
In Boeing.
But anyway, if
Not
it's
sure.
if it's in Boeing headquarters, if it
And
hasn't been delivered yet, I would have no reservations with taking it. If it's been to Qatar for a little bit, because remember, Russ, remember Qatar, as friendly as they might seem, they still house the leaders of Hamas right after October 7th. So
Agreed.
look, know your enemy. Know your enemy, Mr. Trump.
Yeah. He said he's
Jeff
going to paint it red,
Johnson-
white, and blue, though.
Jeff Johnson and both, it looks like Jeff Johnson and both Nick Meacher are using Florida Canine Unleashed. That's the people who helped me train Remy and Sawyer. They're doing the online teaching with them. So good stuff. But people are freaking out about this whole Middle Eastern trip that Trump took and why he brought some of the people over there that he did. He brought a lot of people. He brought a lot of businessmen over there, right? And this entire trip, Russ, this entire trip was designed not as an act of strength, a show of strength, right? This was designed to say, look, we can all make it, we can all grow if we approach all this as a business. So
Exactly.
already he inked in a huge deal, the biggest military deal ever with Egypt for planes. Qatar the same. He's got something like $600 billion of investments coming back into the United States just from this 3-day trip. But Dennis O'Leary summed it up, I think, best in this video here. I'll roll this.
The president said in his remarks there are no permanent enemies, only permanent interests is what he's imputing there. And really what's going on with this trip
I don't know if you
are
can
two
hear me,
things.
Pete. I'm
One
kind
is
of locked up
China.
over here on my end.
He doesn't want China to develop a relationship in what I call the Middle East circle of friendship, and that is Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. And then you ask yourself, why are all these AI guys with him? What's with that? And I'll tell you what it's about. At the end of this week, he has a meeting in Abu Dhabi. And what's happened in the last 2 years, maybe it's taken 3, but U.S. is number 1 in AI development and spending. Number 2 is China. Number 3 now, and very advanced in certain verticals, is the United Arab Emirates. They are so far ahead in many different verticals. And he wants to see that cooperation on AI be removed from the China model, because remember there was talk about the UAE starting to talk to China about AI. He doesn't want any of that. He wants these companies to form very strong bonds in AI, and when we get later this week to the UAE, that's what you're going to hear about. This is crucial. So China and AI, and of course all this money talk's fantastic, but we're in an economic war with China, and he is cutting them off at the pass in the fastest growing region on earth, the Middle East.
100%. And I'm going to add to what Mr. O'Leary said. China imports 100%, Russ, of their oil. So if we ever ran a conflict with China and we had those 3 countries on our side, we could decimate their entire military as soon as they ran out of oil. Now, of course, they're going to get fuel from Russia, but as we've seen before, blowing up a pipeline by the Biden administration is a pretty simple thing to do. So I wouldn't put it past any administration to do it again, right?
So I got a question for you in regards to Trump's visit over there, especially over to Qatar. That was the first state visit by a sitting president, a state visit by a sitting president. We've been over in the AOR, over in the desert, since 1991 in a official military capacity. Why has it taken so long? The only other visit was Reagan, and I believe it was not Reagan, Bush, I believe, went over and visited troops in Qatar. Why has it taken so long?
Well, it's taken so long. It's a good question. It's taken so long because Qatar, we need them for our military presence in the region. However, we don't trust them. They have strong ties to Iran, as seen by them housing Hamas terrorists on their soil, and we just, frankly, we don't trust them enough to actually formulate or actually go through an official state visit. That just shows. Past administrations would say that would show weakness, but we know Trump doesn't give a crap, right? He'll go into North Korea, he'll walk across the demilitarization zone and go right into North Korea with little fat rocket man, and he won't have any problems with it. It's a show of strength, right? And it's just one of those things that he does, and he's doing it he's running politics right now like a business. And that's what these people need right now. Now, yes, the Middle East, show of strength is needed with people like Iran, with the terrorists over in Gaza, with Iraq, with Afghanistan. You need to have a show of strength. That's the language they understand. But these developed countries, they want to know what we can do from a business aspect. And he's a master. He's a master at doing this. He's kicking it out of the park right now. So,
and I mean, so many different trade deals are on the table now. I saw earlier that Iran is actually talking about some type of nuclear deal, because they're a little worried, as well they should be,
Yeah, well, so alluding to that, during Trump's first administration, he crippled the Iranian economy. They had less money in reserves than El Salvador did. Okay, so he put a beating on them. They fear he's going to do that again. So the deal that I heard today was that they would only enrich uranium to a certain percentage, 3.9%. That's not good enough, though. We need to have them out of the enrichment business 100%. Look, you can buy uranium for clean energy on the market. You can buy it from many different countries. But the only reason you would ever need to enrich it is to make a nuclear bomb. Only reason. So if that's part of the deal, that they continue any type of enrichment of uranium, the deal needs to get thrown out the door, and we need to just hit them with sanctions again and cripple their economy like he did in the past. So that would be my take. If I was his advisor, that's what I would tell him. The other thing that kind of stuck in my craw a little bit about, look, and it's not all good stuff for Trump. The one thing that stuck in my craw when he visited Egypt was him dropping sanctions on Syria. And I understand why he wants to do that, but the leader of Syria right now is a known Al-Qaeda member. He's responsible for deaths of U.S. troops, and to bargain with him just sticks in my craw a little bit. Now, with that being said, we, for the longest time, dealt with Osama bin Laden in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? See how that worked out for us. So I don't know how I feel about that Syria deal yet. I understand that he's given them the opportunity. He said, we're going to give you the opportunity to grow, but you can grow without a terrorist leader at the ring.
Yeah, maybe it's the devil, and hey, we're going to let you do this, but, and the but is not being spoken. The but is, okay, you do something stupid, we're going to freaking, we're going to send a freaking missile through your damn house,
Yeah, that's the way it needs to be. Or listen, Iran, if you want to continue to, or Iran, Syria, I mean, you might as well just put them all in the same bucket, right? They're the same people for the most part. Iran keeps enriching uranium.
We can send them.
We just look, just cut the IDF loose. Let Israel do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Let Israel do what they should do. Let Israel do the only thing that would make them safe within that region. That's truly, honestly, getting rid of the Iranian factions.
Exactly.
So, oh, boy, that was long-winded. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to, the 70s, and you look at pictures of Iran before the Shah of Iran fell and all that stuff, it looked like the U.S. I mean, women were wearing modern clothes for the time, the whole 9 yards. They were allowed to go to school, everything else. And then they went to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, they went through that cultural revolution, right? Then with the Muslim revolution that brought basically Sharia law to them. Now the women, for the most part, are covered head to toe, and you're not allowed to drive, and their country is suffering for it. I would say right now, if there was a propaganda machine happening in Iran, we could get the vast majority of the Iranian people to turn on the Ayatollah, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
we've I believe we may have just beat the heck out of the freaking Middle East. We've had a bunch of stuff happening in the U.S., and a lot of it's happening up there where you're at now.
It's true. So we all heard about that Milwaukee judge who decides she's going to go ahead and take that illegal immigrant when ICE was knocking at the door and push him out the back door in clear violation of federal law. And now she's freaking out because they got arrested. Well, she got arrested. Well, she was formally indicted, and actually the illegal immigrant was formally indicted. I got a little clip for that. Let me run that and we'll talk about it.
It's an immigration arrest that gained national attention and led to the arrest of a Milwaukee County judge.
Now, Jason Calvi joins us, shows us the new developments in the case that started it all. He joins us live tonight. Jason.
Hey, Ted. Eduardo Flores Ruiz had two cases today in two different courthouses. One could lead to him going to Wisconsin prison. The other could kick him out of the country again. You might remember the headlines in April when the FBI arrested Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. She's accused of trying to help a defendant in her courtroom escape waiting immigration agents. That defendant is Eduardo Flores Ruiz. The county accuses him of punching his roommates. Investigators say on scene, Flores Ruiz said it was, quote, a mutual fight. For the first time, we're hearing from the roommate's attorney.
Are they upset with Judge Dugan at all?
I would not say that they're upset because they didn't know what to expect. They just came as victims in the court, and they just were not sure what is their role in there.
Dugan's suspended while her case goes through the legal process. Thursday, the retired Milwaukee County judge filling in for Dugan allowed Flores Ruiz's public defender to withdraw from the county case. She said she had a conflict of interest.
I do believe it's fair to categorize this situation as extraordinary.
In mid-April, federal agents said they chased Flores Ruiz outside the courthouse. This week, a federal grand jury indicted him. He's accused of re-entering the country after a 2013 deportation.
There you go. And since that bit came out, the judge was indicted by a grand jury. She pled
not
guilty, saying she had what did they say? Judicial something or other, where what happens in a courtroom can't be held against her. Bullshit. She's a swine. She's a sweat hog. She looks like Shrek, and she needs to spend 6 years in prison, which is what she's possibly facing right now. But here's the deal. She'll face 4 years. Even if she's convicted, she'll face 4 years. If a Democrat gets in office, they're going to pardon her.
Exactly.
Big T, we were just talking about Mountain Readiness, how amazing it was. Good to see you over there, brother.
And Lala's in the house over there, too.
I did see the law. He was over here today spraying for the godforsaken bugs we have up here. It's
I had
judicial
to spray my campsite.
Yeah, that's well, let's see if it works first before he does all that stuff. So this next clip I have, guys, it's about the mayor of New Jersey and what he did at the ICE detention facility up there. Also, there were some Democratic lawmakers that were with him. And the reason I picked this clip is I wanted you to see the bias, the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, right? This is strictly from ABC News. I want you to see the bias in the clip, and you tell me what you think here.
Check out this video. It's Newark Mayor Ross Baraka being taken into custody at an ICE detention center. Baraka and 3 House Democrats say they were visiting the facility to conduct oversight. He is now being charged with trespassing. He has not entered a plea just yet. Janice Yu from our station WABC in New York joins us now with more. Janice, what more are we learning? I mean, we saw some footage of it, but now we have this body camera footage. What are we learning from it?
Hi there. Good afternoon, Phil. So that video,
Listen to
as
the
you
bias.
can see, is a little bit chaotic, but there are a few things to note in that video. You can see that Mayor Ross Baraka is on the side of the gate where the protesters were. So that's on the public side. It does not appear that he is trying to enter through the gate, but at one point you do see those federal agents around him in all of that chaos. It appears they are trying to handcuff him, and then he kind of goes out of frame. But from the other videos, we know that they brought him back through the gate onto the property, and in the back there's a...
So let me pause this real quick, Russ. So what this lady's saying, this very nice, unbiased ABC journalist is saying that they at no time attempted to go inside of the gates. The only time that the mayor was brought in the gate is when he was officially arrested. So a little bit of context.
She's a congresswoman, one of 3 who was joining Baraka at that site. You see her in the middle. There's an agent on one side, another person in a suit in the other, and she's just kind of being pushed back and forth.
She's just kind of being pushed back and forth. Guys, tell me what this video says.
Now, there
You
were
tell me
allegations
what your eyes tell you
that
right here.
Baraka, as well as the Congress members who were here on site, were trying to push their way, trying to storm into the detention center. But from that video, it does not appear that that is the case. Again, there are many angles to this video, but this is what we're seeing from, well as the Congress members who trying to storm into the detention center, were trying to push their way, trying to storm into the detention center. But from that video, it does not appear that that is the case. Again, there are many angles to this video, but this is what we're seeing from our first look at this body-worn video from one of the agents who was on site.
I call bullshit. I call bullshit,
bias,
and I call resisting arrest. initially assault on a police officer in the performance of his duties.
Good point, Patrick. Only if they give 24 hours notice that they're going to arrive. They did not. There was a spontaneous get together there in Newark. So I would agree with what you're saying, except they didn't give proper notice to check the situation inside of that ICE detention facility. And once they were allowed in, even the Democratic lawmakers said it was immaculate inside, and the detainees were being treated very well. So. Yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you.
Yeah, it would have never happened on a military installation either.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. Jeff says that the congresswoman entered gate. She assaulted police officers. She needs to be charged. And here's the thing. Here's the spin. You know, Trump said he was going to go after all of his enemies. You can't just arrest judges. You can't just arrest lawmakers. You can't do this. If they break the law, these are the same people. These are the same people months ago that said no one's above the law. No one's above the law. Okay, assholes. No one's above the law. There you go. These people are on video breaking the law. So
exactly.
I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me there. Maybe my ears aren't hearing the right thing, Russ. Maybe it's not biased media. Maybe it's not the propaganda arm of the liberal party, but sure does smell like it to me.
You know, they spontaneous. That was Patrick says, he goes, I love how they spontaneously showed up to inspect with a bunch of media and protesters.
Yeah, they wanted their 15 minutes of fame. They wanted to solidify their chance with the Democratic Party during midterms. That's what this is all about. This is ridiculous.
You know, and you know, midterms are still what, 18 months away.
Mm-hmm.
If they keep this shit up, it's going to backfire like a motherfucker. Excuse my language, but I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah, well, if Patel does what he says, if people start going to jail, this is going to be an interesting summer, because then the BLMs of the world, the Antifas of the world, are going to be called up by their puppet masters, and big cities across this country are going to burn because they're going to think that democracy's under attack. First of all, constitutional republic, assholes. So listen, we're not out of the woods here for this summer that I predicted that we were going to have. So let's see. Yeah, Jeff, you're right. You know what? They're going to die on this hill of DEI and illegal immigrations if they just moved a little bit more towards center. If they just moved a tiny bit more towards center, they'd be able to get back some of the voters they lost. Now, they're not going to get back the 18 million that they made up during the Biden election, but they will get some of them back. So I agree with you. Speaking of, this is only what I've seen on X. This is not on the list of stuff for us. This is only when I seen on X and other social media platforms. But you know, they got this Sean Combs trial going on. Diddy, right? His rapper name is Diddy. What I saw on X, and again, I cannot verify this. I am not saying that this is true by any way, shape, or form, but I will say it is showing up on X and other social media platforms that Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democratic Party right now, the minority leader, has been implicated in going to a lot of these Diddy parties, which they call the freak-offs. So I don't know how true that is. Maybe he'll speak out. Maybe he'll deny it. But it would make a lot of sense if that were to happen.
And Corey just brought up another good point. What about the talk of pardoning Derek Chauvin?
Yeah, and here's
definitely spark another summer of love, and I don't disagree with that one. I think it might be one of those catalysts that start.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know. I think he should be pardoned. But you're right. That would be the match that probably lit St. Paul and Minneapolis back on fire. I did see something funny today. I wasn't going to mention it, but today is actually if I'm not mistaken, the 4-year anniversary of that happening, and there is good news that came out of that. That guy that couldn't breathe has been 4 years without doing heroin. So congratulations, George
Absolutely.
Floyd. Drinks to you.
Drinks to you.
Sláinte. But I wasn't going to put that on because I knew that would get me. I had a whole thing set up for that, a whole slideshow, but I knew that would get me booted. But if we're going to talk about it, might as well talk about it.
Absolutely. Only Mike.
Lord help us. Mike had a good time up there at Mountain Readiness, I think.
He
got
did.
to.
And, Xander was a good kid. He worked his butt off up there for Mike. So hopefully Mike was proud of him because he worked his butt off.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Patrick also says right here, I've noticed a lot of colleges are attempting takeovers are being crushed instantly. Yeah, they're not taking any more crap in these colleges, and I think that if they don't do something locally, they know that the feds are going to walk in. So,
yeah.
Well, there you go, Kelly. What else? We still have yet to see the Epstein files, of course, and Patel is saying that they want to make it a rock solid case before they release it. I don't believe that. I believe that they're snowballing right now because some of the Republicans are implicated in the Epstein files. I don't think Donald Trump is, but I think some Republican lawmakers are certainly implicated in that.
And they're probably the same ones that are on the list of receiving money from Ukraine.
Yeah.
I would hazard to guess.
Yeah. Looks like the ceasefire in Gaza has taken a turn. IDF had active intelligence that the de facto leader was holed up outside of the hospital where he was hiding like a rat in the tunnel outside of a hospital, by the way, which, oh, God forbid you bomb a hospital, right? Because there are only patients and innocent civilians there. Lies. Even the UN hospitals have shown evidence that some of the hostages were taken there under tunnels that were underneath it. They're unsure if he is dead, but they did kill 6 other people and 40 were injured. This is the brother of the old leader, Russ Yahya Mohammed, who was killed by a IDF tank, which was a spectacular video, by the way. They flew a drone in. He swatted at the drone. He had already been blown up, his clothes blown off because he's a scumbag, and that's what they look like when they're holed up in a corner. And you see the turret of the tank move in his direction, and they send him to his 72 virgins, which is great. So
absolutely.
What else do we have? Looking good there.
You a baseball fan?
I was a baseball fan for the longest time. I mean, a devout New York Mets fan, even though I'm from Florida. Once after the '85 season, when the Mets won the World Series, Hojo was on that team. Mookie Wilson was on the team. Dwight Gooden, right? Gary Carter.
Great team.
They went on strike, and then I lost all interest for these guys. But what's going on there?
I think they finally have done justice to both Pete Rose and all of the deceased members of Major League Baseball that had been banned for life. I mean, how can you continue banning a person if they're dead? And they have finally reinstated, number 1, Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle, and Shoeless Joe Jackson, who was actually found innocent but still banned.
Yeah, well, even Pete Rose, he was blamed to be wagering on games, not any of the Reds games, right? Not any of his team's games, but on actual Major League Baseball other games, and banned for life. One of the most prolific hitters in MLB history, and banned him for life. Interesting thing about that, Russ, is not too long ago, the Orange Man actually called up the commissioner and said, you might want to start revisiting that stuff because it's giving you a bad look. And look what happens. The Trump effect. Oh. the FBI got Russ.
Um,
But yeah, it was a call from
They
Trump that
said
actually made
that
that happen.
it-
He's back. And he's gone again. So just like you had mentioned, come back in, Russ. He's in, he's out, he's this, he's that. I'm trying to bring you in. I got you. Hands off. Hands up.
Hands up.
Stop
Okay.
resisting.
Stop resisting. They said it was because he was gambling on baseball, and was the reason it was so long of a ban. But Major League Baseball has embraced all this online betting now, and it's just, it just blows my mind. I'm glad he's in. I was a big Reds fan when I was a kid. This was back when the Braves really sucked. But because of him, and it was just great. He was just a great player, and he deserves to be in there.
Yeah, I agree. It's about time. Pissed Off Arborist says Katie at Aqua Research has your number now. She's a future guest. Yes, she actually gave me one of those units. I'm going to do a video of me testing that out in the bogs of Wisconsin, and I'm going to see if I don't. I'm going to see if I don't die. If it works, I'll do a review on it. I told her when she gave it to me, look, if this gives me some kind of bug, that's what I'm going to say when I get you on. So I'm going to test that guy out. Jeff says Pete Rose played in Philly.
He played in Philly when he was in high school, he says.
Yeah. Okay, one other thing we want to talk to is with international news. I want to talk about what's recently come out with the Chinese and the Green New Deal type of thing that the liberals have been pushing for so long. So I don't know if you remember, but a few weeks ago, was it last week, the Spain's green energy plants all went down. They all went black, Russ, right? Yeah. What was found out today in the news today that inside of some of the inverters and converters of these solar panels and solar electronic things that are coming from China, they have a kill switch where they can instantly shut them down. Now, I would say that's nuts. That's conspiracy theory. That's tinfoil hat wearing stuff, Russ. Except during Trump's first administration, he found out that some of our massive transformers, our power distribution systems from China, also had these kill switches in them. And he banned them, which was immediately reversed day one of the Biden administration. So China's not our friend. I don't care what kind of tariffs they give. They're in it for the long haul, and they hope to cripple us someday. So remember that. Remember that when the Democrats want to push this Green New Deal thing, want us to be sole sourced onto this solar energy, this wind energy, all these products coming from China. It's not the right thing to do. Yeah. We need to be energy independent.
Exactly, which is what Trump tried to do in the first administration, and hopefully he's picked up where he left off. Going back to those filters, Mike over at FIB says he now has access to them. He's just got to figure out how bad the shipping is going to be.
I don't know if he's talking about those, or is he talking about the soft plates that he was going to get from that outfit out of Jacksonville, Florida. Because I can tell you the shipping on those little filters is going to be nothing.
Yeah.
So when he mentioned shipping, I was assuming he was talking about those soft plates to bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't see bullshit say anything. So
yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt or Mike.
Let's put this up. Oh, I got to put this up real quick. Yeah, they didn't say anything about it until Trump had mentioned it. The Trump administration had mentioned that when he first went through his second term. It was all hush hush. When Trump originally banned them, originally made them take that part, whatever component that was, out of the transformers, then it all went silent, right? But when Biden reversed that immediately, it's back to business as usual for communist China to try to shut down our power grid, amongst other things. So,
yeah. And Mike says both plates and filters.
Perfect. Well, shipping's
Awesome.
not going to be bad on those filters unless they're coming from Africa.
Well, and those plates are actually fairly light, so the shipping shouldn't be too terrible on those, except for maybe an oversized package.
Well, if the plates do come through, guys, remember, FIB preparedness will be at Mountain Readiness. Well, I should say Fallout. So put your order in with them and pick them up, and now you bypass that shipping.
Yep, October 17th to the 19th, we will be there.
Yeah,
looking forward to it. And I don't know if T's still out there, but I'll have to agree with what everybody else has said. That was about the best Mountain Readiness that I've been to, and I've been to them all. And he's definitely got it going on now, and he's trying to make it better.
Yeah, I'll just strictly say from a vendor standpoint, it was one of my best years, hands down. And it also helps I didn't blow a tire and have to spend $900 on a tire. So that was kind of nice.
But you already got the bill for your new fiber up there in the North 40.
Yeah, that's what counts. But that's what these subscriptions and stuff go for on the podcast. So I'm not going to complain about that. Patrick, I didn't hear anything about a listening device they found in the White House. He says it was confirmed but quieted. That's interesting. I did not hear that.
Oh, wow. And Knives by Hand has started a new knife for FIB and should have the FIB HD from another knife maker in a couple weeks. Awesome. Mike, I'm glad Mountain Readiness has gave you quite a few avenues of increasing your product line. That's pretty awesome. And again, community, we work together as a community, all ships rise. That's just awesome.
Man, that's the way it works. So the only request I have from FIB with all these knife makers now is I want a karambit. I want a couple I can put on my vests. I want a custom made one. I want one that's hand forged. And that's it. Jason says his liver wasn't too happy with Mountain Readiness.
Well, that's his own damn fault.
Well, that, and I think he got one of the anomaly lobsters that ended up being sushi. So I'm sure that didn't help your gut much either, buddy.
Well, Corey says, we fed FIB, now he won't go away. The same can be said for you there, Battle Now.
It's true. It's true. Oh, Lord. Russ, tell us about what's going on in your world. Go ahead and run your promo there and tell us all about rebuilding hollers.
Well,
why
guys,
that's important to you.
Everybody knows rebuilding hollers. Everybody knows Steph Johnson. She's got a big event, Jeep into the Hollers, this May 31st. Basically, when all that started, Jeeps were about the only thing they could get up there to help people. So she's going to be there's going to be like 2 or 3 different tracks you can take that will allow you to see what some of the devastation you can still see, and then the rebuilding efforts. And I am proud to announce that Rebuilding Hollers will be having a podcast starting on the 6th of June at 8 Eastern, and it will be produced by Broken Spokes Productions. Teresa and I are now a legit company as of today. So she is our first client, and it's going to be pretty exciting. We're going to have people on there that lived through Hurricane Helene, and people that have been there and helped them rebuild because they still haven't gotten any federal help. Steph is really, really excited. And for you guys that do know Steph, she is just such a bubbly personality. I think her podcast is going to just go all over the place. So wish us luck. First episode will be 6 June at 8 p.m. Hopefully everybody will tune in. We're going to start blasting it out on all the social media platforms tomorrow, probably.
Okay, so which platforms are you going to be on, Russ? Any idea?
Minimum Facebook, YouTube. We're trying to get on X and Insta, and I haven't talked to her about Kick yet. It's on my list of things to talk to her about. I will have a brief hiatus next week while I travel up to the North 40. I will be available Thursday night. I'll make sure I'm available for Thursday night. But you guys will be without me Monday over on Mountain Readiness Mondays. But T can help. We're gonna.
Well, before you start producing all these things, Russ, you need to make sure that your Starlink antenna is placed in the right direction. You have to make sure that all your cables are actually plugged in and not working on Wi-Fi, and carry on, because I was just filling for you.
Absolutely.
That's about all I got. So that's exciting news for you, Russ. I'm glad you got all the paperwork done.
It was starting a business in South Carolina sucks. I'll tell you that much. They nickel and dime you for this and for that. I had to pay $50 to the county to get a business license. And then that was to apply. And then I had to pay another $50 to get the license. They didn't tell you that up front.
Let's see what Mike over there at FIB said he is going to do a one-time podcast, and he wants you to produce that.
I can do that, Mike. Get in touch with me. I'll be on the road all next week. Call me. We can discuss, and we'll make something happen.
Patrick, you are more than free to come our way if you'd like. Stay the night in the Roland condo if you want. I've got a spare bedroom here also. You can hang out for a day or two. Then I'll kick you out. But you will have a good time. So absolutely would love to meet you, Patrick.
Oh, absolutely. And
get with me.
Tuesday.
If you come on Tuesday, make sure your liver's on point.
Yeah.
So, all right, Russ, that's all I got. You got anything to go ahead and you take this time to do your thing and leave us with some good words.
Well, guys, Mountain Readiness proves what I talk about every week, community. Is what we need to have. Julie and Roy Dorn with their Coastal Plains group over there are doing great things. Check them out on Zello on Tuesdays and Saturdays. They don't mind if you're not from there. They allow me on there, of all people. But guys, as I always say, you have a birth date and an end date. Let's worry about the dash. I'll catch you next week.
Thank you, Russ. Guys, remember, next week we're going to get back to our prep of the week. So take this time. You have 1 week to come up with that one prep, that one thing you want to talk about on the Eden Army podcast, the one thing that's going to keep you motivated, going to keep you prepared. Just because the Orange Man's in office, things are not hunky-dory. Things are not going to go well. Like I said before, the summer could get very interesting. So by all means, make sure you have your prep of the week, and it could be anything. I don't care if it's a roll of toilet paper. Tell us what you got. Take that one thing, set it aside. Now I hear Griff over there on Facebook. I hear he's buying some stilts, right? Because he could use those, right? Because he runs around. He needs to be able to turn on light switches and stuff like that. And he's a little midget, so his prep of the week is going to end up being stilts. But guys, remember, regardless of what your prep of the week is, make it something you didn't have the week prior. Be prepared. Like T says, move with purpose, right? Everything you do, move toward that end goal. Come up with a plan and work your plan. But guys, be safe. And if you can't be safe, thanks for watching the Eden Army podcast. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, be safe. If you can't be safe, be dangerous.